Hey, everybody. It is so good to come your way again. You know what we've been doing on this show? We have been looking at optimum health, and we've said there are 4 components, and the last component we've been looking into has been sleep management. So today we're wrapping it up. And so we started off and we established the fact that sleep is key for our optimum health. And so to do that, there are things we need to do to help us to establish good sleeping habits so that overall we can be able to have optimum health. And so today on this show, we are looking at 3 different things that we can do to improve our sleep or change some of our habits or start a new habit or stop a habit entirely. So I thank you for tuning in, and let's get going. And so what we did was, I like to keep things simple and basic. So what we did was we just used our 5 senses, and we all know about our 5 senses. We aren't going to forget about them. So we just used what we already know as a way of information, and then we tied it into the healthy things that we need to do to improve our sleep, and as a result, improve our overall health. And so we looked into touch or feel, the things we do as far as our bedroom, the feel we have on our bed, all right? And we also looked at touch. And today I want us to look at the last 3 senses together and look at the senses and how we can tie them into some of the habits that we can do. So the first senses I want us to look into is sound. You know that the ability to hear is one of the 5 senses that we enjoy by the grace of God. And so what does it mean? What does it mean, sound and my sleep? When it comes to my sleep, what has sound got to do with it? Here is what it's got to do. Here are the first tips as far as our senses is concerned. So you know that when you are forming good habits for your sleep, sound is important. And probably you might ask, how is sound important to my sleep? The sounds, for example, if you live in a city, a very busy city or whatever, there could be, and if there could be noises like cars, probably you live in the city, so there's cars always going, commuting, and so there are noises that you really can't do much about because that's your choice. You live in the city, okay? But with time, you sort of get accustomed to it. It doesn't really, so at least that's because it's your choice to live in the city. We can say that over time, those noises might fade out for you. But the noises I want us to focus on, or the sound, as far as our sleep, that I want us to look into are the sounds that we can do something about it. If it's got to do, probably you live in an area where planes are flying, so you hear the noise. You can't do much about it because that's where you live. Or in this case, again, the cars commuting, you can't do much about it. But I'm talking about the sound, the ones that you can do something about, the one that you can influence. And so we want to look into sounds like, okay, the TV sound, okay? Probably you have a TV in your bedroom and you snooze and sleep and the TV is on, and you know that the TV sounds changes, okay? Sometimes some commercials come on, boom, 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 and it's so loud. Or probably the TV isn't even in your room. Probably it's across the hallway, it's in the living room, the family room, whatever. But those sounds can creep in and disturb your sleep. So we are looking into sounds, okay? When it comes to your sleep, what are the things I can do to control the sounds that I can control? There are some I can do much about, okay? I can design my bedroom in such a way that just few of these noises come in, okay? I can use sound controlling items to block them from coming in. But there are sounds that is going on in my own house I can do something about. Another one of those are sometimes the gadgets we have in our bedroom. Take our phones, for example. Sometimes we have notifications and we don't turn off our phone in the night, and so you're sleeping and then you have these notifications coming in, pipping, and these are sounds that you and I can do something about, because if we don't, they affect the quality of our sleep. We may be deeply asleep, but we wake up because we hear these noises going on. So when it comes to our sound sleep and the sounds that goes on around us, there are things we can do to minimize them, if not eliminate them completely. All right, you have kids in the house, you can make it such that if bedtime is 8 p.m., probably around 6:37 after dinner, we start to wind down. Okay, so we get to a place where the TV itself probably is turned off before bedtime, and so we begin to create an environment where noise calms down. All right, let's turn the TV off. Probably let's put in a night music, a soft music, so that we begin to prepare our kids. We begin to prepare the environment that, okay, the sounds, the high sounds, the TV is so high and whatever, that can be a distraction to our sleep. We want to do something about it. And so the key is that sleep is important to our health. And so we're looking at what can we do about it. And we are looking at information we already know. We know our 5 senses. And so we tie that to our sleep and seeing how we can improve it. So I want us to take a quick break. There are 2 others of our senses that we want to look in relation to our sleep. So let's take a quick break and we will be right back. Welcome back. We are wrapping up on our session with sleep management. And so we are looking at our 5 senses and how to correlate it when it comes to our sleep. All right. We've just looked at sound. Now we want to look at taste. What has taste got to do with my sleep? For God's sake, I'm not going to sleep when it's nighttime. So why are we talking about taste and sleep? Here is why we're talking about it, okay? The foods we eat does impact us, okay? They do impact our sleep, okay? Why am I saying that? Especially when it gets into sleep time, all right? We need to watch the things we eat, you know, the amount. So let's begin to put some of these in perspective as far as taste and sleep, okay? So let me give this first tip. You know that traditionally we start off breakfast, okay, we do small. Some people don't even want to take breakfast. They just want to drink their cup of coffee or tea or orange juice and probably a small toast or whatever, okay? But traditionally, that's what I'm trying to establish. Traditionally, we'll have a small breakfast, and then by the time lunch comes, our plate and our meal is increasing. And then dinner time becomes sort of big, supper, heavy, all right? That's traditionally, that's what we do. But you know that things are changing, okay? Studies, research, and all that we're seeing that it doesn't help us. And so, you know this, they said breakfast is the most important meal. And so what I say is that let your breakfast be the biggest meal, okay? Switch it around. You see how breakfast traditionally is small. By the lunchtime, you're getting hungry. It's increasing. By dinner time, boom. Let's turn it around. You would have taken a break from eating, okay? You would have slept. Let's use this 8 hours. You've taken an 8-hour break from food. And so it just does make sense to me that your breakfast becomes the biggest meal, so to speak. Okay, so let's switch this whole thing around. Instead of dinner being the biggest meal, I'm saying let breakfast be your biggest meal, so to speak. So by lunchtime, there's the reduction. And so by dinner time, your meal is much lighter. Okay, in that case, you go to bed not too heavy, you know, and because too heavy, sometimes you're uncomfortable, your stomach probably indigestion and all these. But if we switch it around, have these big breakfast, so to speak, okay? Because we're doing this in comparison to the traditional way, all right? So if you have this big breakfast, remember that's when you actually need the energy. So if this meal was, so to speak, the biggest, you will use the energy in the form of what? Calories. You will use it. But if you wait traditionally and have the big dinner, you're actually going to sleep. You're not going to burn those calories. You're just going to sit there, you know, and just make it heavy and sort of doesn't make your sleep comfortable. All right. So that's some of the things when we talk about taste and our sleep. That's some of the tips that I'm bringing to your way. All right. Some of the other items as far as your taste and your sleep has to do with alcohol. Okay, some people drink alcohol before they go to bed. Some people say, oh, it makes me sleep. It makes me have a good sleep. No, because, you know, you get tipsy or whatever. Okay, the alcohol can make you sleep quickly, but it does bring in interruption in your sleep. All right, so we got to watch that. The things we put in our mouth. Another example is caffeine. Caffeine is a stimulant. If you drink it around bedtime, it stimulates you. It's not going to relax you to sleep. And you know what we talked about in our last session, all right? Sleep time, you get relaxed, all right? The hormone in your body that gets the signal that it's getting nighttime so you can relax. So before sleep, you want to be relaxed. You don't want to be, you know, active. But when you drink something like caffeine, it actually, you know, gets you more active, all right? It stimulates you. And so that is something to watch for. Another thing is what? Spicy foods. I like spicy foods, but if you eat them so close to dinner, and like I was saying, traditionally, our dinner becomes the heavy meal, and you have all this yummy dinner prepared with all the spices and all that, you realize that at some point in your sleep, the spices begin to, you know, take you to a place you just want to have a nice, restful, deep sleep. You don't want to have all these interruptions and run to the bathroom and all that, okay? And so last but not the least has to do with our drinks, okay? You know, earlier on in the session, we did talk about our food, eating right and drinking lots of water. Yeah, let's make it such that it's not that we don't drink water until it's getting to evening time, night time. It's like, oh my gosh, I haven't drank the water I need to drink, and then we start drinking. What that happens is with all that intake of water, there's going to be nighttime, you know, run into the restroom, and it takes you away from your deep sleep. And so, yeah, let's drink lots of water as recommended, what, 8 ounces, 8 glasses a day. But let's make it such that we would have done it so that when it's time to sleep, because after all, it is during the day the sun is on, we need more hydration. When it's time to sleep, we don't want to be having to drink so much so that we have to take in a lot of trips to the restroom that disturbs our sleep. So I think this is good. So we will take a break, and when we come back, we will look into the last senses and how to tie it to our sleep, the things we can do to improve our sleep and manage it so that we can be on our way to an optimum health and wellness. So let's take a break, and we will be right back. All right, welcome back. And so we've been looking at how to manage our sleep, the things to do to improve our sleep. And you know me, I like to keep things really simple so everybody can, you know, get on board and do it. So what we've been doing is we've been looking at our 5 senses that we all know, and then we correlating that to our sleep, the things, the habits that we can build, the healthful habits that we can build to help us sleep better. And so last but not the least, has to do with smell, our sense of smell. Now, what does smell got to do with my sleep? It's what probably you might be thinking. Here is what it's got to do with it. Have you ever, woken up out of your dream? I mean, have you ever woken out of your sleep, sometimes probably even coughing because you was breathing in a kind of smell, either smoke or whatever? Yes, it does affect our sleep. It's something we don't really think about, but it does affect our sleep. Okay, I know that sometimes life happens. We all are busy. You go to work and come. I've done this before, and you realize that, oh my gosh, I need this, I need that, and probably you pop something in the oven or you put something on the stove. Yeah, there are times like that. Life happens. And I'm a very reasonable and realistic person. But I am talking about on a regular basis, or if you can make your time so that your baking and stuff are not done in the night, that does help. Because sometimes after all that, it gives a smell in the house, and sometimes things even burn, because sometimes, life happens. So when that happens and you go to sleep, it gives this, smell in the house that doesn't really help you to have that environment of, and environment of peace doesn't just have to do with sound. Environment of peace can happen with your eyes, it can happen with your sense of smell, and all the other senses. So we need to be cognizant. We need to be aware. That's why I'm here, because I like to create the awareness. We aren't trying to diagnose any disease. We're not trying to give you medical advice. We are here. The purpose of why I'm here is to create the awareness so that you can use this awareness to look at your state of life and see, probably I need a professional to assist me. Probably I need to talk to somebody. That's why I'm here. And so I'm here to remind you that when it's got to do with your senses, it's not just your eye and light that affects your sleep. All the other senses play a part, your smell. And so let's look at, there are things we can control. Sometimes maybe a smell is coming from outside of your house and you can do much about it. But there are things that we can control. That is where I'm talking about. And so looking at your baking and other things on a regular basis, if you can, schedule them in such a way that they don't really conflict with your sleep schedule. All right. Last but not the least tip I would like to share when it comes to our sense of smell and our sleep, it's got to do with, studies shows this, that there are some smells that relaxes us to sleep. Okay, studies actually shows that lavender, the smell lavender, okay, helps us to be relaxed. It actually relaxes our blood pressure, our heart rate. Research has been done to prove this. So, I'm not saying that be a lavender lover, but I'm saying that there are some smells that you can begin to look into that, for example, if you love lavender, you can have probably a lavender candle in your room. That helps give that relaxing smell and that environment that when you really enter your bedroom, it is truly a sanctuary, because as far as the smell, as far as the sound, as far as the sight and all that, you've taken that into consideration so that when you get to your bedroom, distractions are removed, so you can go there as a source of escape from all that is going around you in the world, as a source of escape from the stress, if I can say that. And you can just throw yourself on your bed and relax and enjoy a good deep night's sleep. Wake up rested so that you can reap the benefits, okay, of having been rested into your day. What are some of the benefits of a good sleep? It helps you mentally, it helps your mood, it helps your productivity, it helps you stay focused, it helps you learn if you're a student, it helps you stay focused in your work. It's just enormous. So I should thank you that you joined me on this journey. I know that talking about sleep isn't really one of the hardest topics, but I believe that it is one of the key components, one of the important things to talk about so that we can be on a journey to optimum health and wellness. So sure, thank you for tuning in. And remember, we are wrapping it all up in our Optimum Health and Wellness season tomorrow. So be sure to tune in. And until then, remember, your smell, your taste, your sight, your touch, your feel, they all help to make you sleep good. So make sure tonight you take these into consideration and sleep good until I come your way tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.